All right, welcome everyone. Today is Tuesday, August 11th, 2026, and the time is 7:01 p.m. We are convened as the Provo City School Board of Education, meeting at 280 West, 940 North in Provo, Utah. We're going to begin with a roll call, and we will start with Devin.
Devin Daly, Business Administrator.
Lisa Boyce, Board Member.
Terry McCabe, Board Member.
Gina Hales, Board Vice President.
Jennifer Partridge, Board President.
Wendy Dow, Superintendent.
Meg Van Wagenen, Board Member.
Emily Harrison, Board Member.
Melanie Hall, Board Member.
Malaki Lasaw, Student Board Member.
Shia Ward, Student Board Member.
Okay, great, thank you. Do we have a motion to convene our business meeting?
I move that we convene our business meeting.
Motion made by Board Member Boyce. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Hall. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are now in our business meeting, and we are going to begin with opening remarks by Vice President Gina Hales.
Okay, so as I was thinking about the new school year, I think this counts as the new school year, right? This is the first board meeting of this new school year, and I was trying to think of something profound to say, and nothing came out of my own brain. So I went back to, and I think another board member mentioned this, the Artemis II mission previously. I'm going to go back to that. I watched with great wonder and amazement and pride as that mission, as they did that mission, right? And then I watched with, I think we were at a conference when their return press conference happened, and I was just fascinated by the things that they said. And I even have this idea that I will never have time to do of like a presentation on all of the things that they talked about, and they each said something that was unique, and it was great. But I wanted to focus on what Christina Koch said when someone asked her, what is a crew? And then I went in and found the transcripts. So I'll read you a little bit of that. A crew is a people or group that is in it all of the time, no matter what, that is stroking together every minute with the same purpose, that is willing to sacrifice silently for each other, that gives grace, that holds accountable. A crew has the same cares and the same needs. And a crew is inescapably, beautifully, dutifully linked. So when we saw Tiny Earth, people asked our crew what impressions we had. And honestly, what struck me wasn't necessarily just Earth, it was all the blackness around it. Earth was just this lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe. So I know I haven't learned everything that this journey has yet to teach me, but there's one new thing I know, and that is that planet Earth, you are a crew. So I just want to say, Provo City School District, we are a crew. And I like that it talks about you give grace, but you also hold accountable, and we work together, right? We have the same cares and the same needs. And I think even though there's differences of opinions within the district about lots of different things, we all want a stellar educational experience for our students. That is what we want. And if we can keep our focus on that and then still have, I think disagreement is a very important part of life. And so I think I don't want to get rid of disagreement. I want us to work through the disagreements. But remember that our goal, our crew, what we're going for is stellar educational experiences for our students. And so I look forward to this school year being a crew with this board here in the district, but also with everyone, teachers, parents, students, everybody. So I look forward to working together as a crew this school year.
Thank you so much, Gina. What a great kickoff to our new year. Appreciate that. All right, now we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Matt Morden from our Technology Department.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Matt. And I want to thank Matt and the rest of our technology team that helps every time we have a board meeting. They're here early, they stay late to set up, clean up, make it possible for people who get the opportunity to watch us on YouTube, and we just appreciate all the work that you guys all do for us, so thank you. All right, with that, we are at our community connections portion of the meeting, and I already have plenty of people who have filled out the form. But if you are here to give public comment and if you have not yet filled out the form, they are in the back, and you can fill them out and then turn them in to our administrative assistant Bonnie over here, who will get them to me. And as I call you up, when you get up here, please state your name and then what elementary boundary you reside in, or if you're an employee, which school you work at. And you have 3 minutes. I do believe there are going to be a lot of people sharing very similar comments, so I encourage you, since there are a lot of people here tonight, if someone's already said some of the things you are going to say, then to be relatively brief in adding new things so that we have more opportunities for everybody to express what they are here to share. And with that, we will start with Michael Robinson.
Hi, I'm Michael Robinson. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for taking so much public input concerning Dixon and Timpanogos. That's been a hot topic. And so I just wanted to express my appreciation. Your thoughtful decision-making process is forward-thinking and will benefit the high school and elementary students, as well as those who are in need of services for adult education and CTE. Your thoughtful process about going about this decision-making will provide equitable learning opportunities and facilities for our students, safety for our kids, and address the needs of the Dixon community. Thanks for being our crew leaders.
Okay, thank you so much, Michael. Next, we have Lana Bailey. Sorry if I said your name.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Lana Bailey. I reside in the Edgemont Elementary School boundaries. I'm a former PTA president of that school and currently have students at Timpview. And I'm asking the board not to extend the deadline for the collection of signatures to organize a PTO. For me, this is an issue of fairness and also trust. So trust in the process. We know everybody is aware of how it works, and we can trust that it's carried out the way it's supposed to. And I feel like if we extend the deadline, that sets a different standard for different situations. It's just less transparent, and it's less. It doesn't allow for as much trust in the process as a whole. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lana. Next is Marty Evans.
Good evening. My name is Marty Evans, and I live in the Canyon Crest boundaries. I have been a member of the PTA since 2008, so for 18 years here in Provo. I have seen a tremendous amount of good that comes from the PTA, and the good that happens when parents and teachers and staff and administrators all work together. I have served in the PTA with many of you and many of you back here, and I consider you all the cream of the crop, people who are willing to serve and to give so many hours to making our communities better. I believe very strongly it's important that parents have a voice, and I appreciate you all listening to us, and I think it's really important that everyone is heard, that all perspectives are heard, and this is exactly why the process must be fair and consistent for everyone. Granting an extension after those requirements were not met would not be fair to the parents who followed the process or to those who support keeping the PTA. Listening to parents matters, but so does applying the same rules to everybody. So I ask that you consider that, please. School begins next week, much to my daughter's dismay, who's going to be a junior in high school. Let's get our kids back to school, and let's return to doing what we do best, which is supporting our teachers and serving our students and working together to make Timpview and all of our schools wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Next is Julia Doxey.
Hello, everyone. I'm actually here on behalf of Carrie Cardall, who has her daughter's wedding this weekend, has family in town, so I'm just going to read a statement that she asked me to read. I am speaking on behalf of Timpview PTA to ask the board to uphold policy it established for the creation of a new parent organization at our school. We understand the group of parents seeking to establish a PTO is asking the board to make changes to the process, including extending the current Friday deadline for collecting signatures, potentially reducing the number of signatures required and allowing electronic signatures. We respectfully ask the board not to make those changes. The board created this policy for a reason. It establishes a clear and consistent process for determining whether a proposed parent organization has sufficient support within the school community. The PTA has followed that process in spreading our message to our school community. The deadline is not arbitrary. The signature requirement is not arbitrary. These requirements are the process the board put in place to demonstrate meaningful community support. If the PTO is unable to meet those requirements by the established deadline, that is important information for the board to consider. It may indicate that there is not currently sufficient support within the school community to justify moving forward in the process to vote on replacing the current organization. Changing the rules after the process is underway would undermine the purpose of having a policy in the first place. If the requirements can be changed because one group is having difficulty meeting them, then the policy is no longer a consistent standard. It becomes a moving target. We also believe it is important to recognize the effect this situation is having on our school community. This process has already created confusion and division among parents. At a time when our focus should be on the beginning of the school year, positively affecting and supporting students and teachers. Parents are uncertain what is happening, what organization will exist, and what this means for the school community going forward. The solution to that uncertainty is not continually change in the process. The solution is to follow the process that has been established. The PTA is not asking the board to prevent anyone from forming a PTO. We are asking for a fair and consistent application of the policy. If the proposed group meets the requirements by Friday, then the board can evaluate its petition under the established policy. If it does not, then the appropriate conclusion is that the requirements were not met and that the requirements should not be changed. Rules and procedures matter. Upholding the policy now demonstrates that the board is committed to consistency. We ask the board to allow the current policy and deadline to stand as written without extending the deadlines, reducing the signature requirement, etc., or changing the signature process. Our school community needs clarity and stability. We believe following the established policy is the best way to provide both. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Next is Patricia Smith.
Hi, I'm so grateful you'll listen. I have been a part of the school system.
Can you say
PTA.
which elementary school boundary you live in, please?
I live in the Rock Canyon Elementary School boundary. So I am here on behalf of getting the PTO. And we have asked to extend the deadline and have the signature changed to an online signature. She just read a policy about being clear and a clarity and being clear with the parents. And I feel like what's happening with the parents is they aren't getting truth. And I've seen it. I've been a part of this school system. I was a president at Joaquin Elementary 30 years ago with my youngest. And I was like, I don't know if I really like PTA, but I'm not sure why. Then as I went along, I've learned a little bit more. I've had 8 children graduate from Timpview. My 9th is there. It takes a ton of time to do what we're doing. But I've seen it over and over and over where a parents group says, I think maybe we should change to a PTO. And for some reason, the PTA gets really nervous and comes in and swarms and shuts that voice down. And last year, we were doing this at Timpview. Same exact thing happened. And thankfully, honestly, the policy was changed. The policy was changed within 6 weeks. So we were having these conversations, and within 6 weeks, the policy was changed to this new policy to gather 25%. I've never gathered signatures. I've never gone out and talked to people about something that I feel passionate about. But I realize almost every single person I talk to, they're like, what is the difference? Why? And I'm so grateful I can say, this is why. This is why. I don't believe that organization matches up with the values and the standards of our community. And this is why. And I can often, majority of the time, they will sign it if they'll listen. But if you won't even let us say our thing, it's at a time when a lot of people are out of town. It's right before school starts. And I looked up the policy. This policy came from Corner Canyon. It was just copied and pasted and then voted on. I talked to one person the other way. Why can't we just vote on it? Why can't we decide as a parent group? We have about 200 signatures that we've really gone in the heat and found to people at home to sign and help them understand what they're signing, and to ask for an electronic signature that would make it a lot easier to even just know if the parents want to vote on it. But if you just say, nope, can't, don't want the parents to vote on it, I think it's a sad thing. So thank you for listening, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Patricia. Next is Olivia Goldman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia Goldman. My children attend the Boundary School of Spring Creek Elementary. I am making comment today in opposition to an extension in the gathering of signatures for the PTO. So just a bit of background, I was Timpview PTSA's president last year, so for the 2025-2026 school year. Previous to that, I did attend the last 3 parent PTSA meetings, so before I became president. 2 of those 3 meetings, we spent much of the agenda discussing whether Timpview PTSA should become a PTO, when there were a lot of other things to discuss. I say this because my point is that they have had over a year to mobilize, to gather public input, to just know how the community is feeling about this, to really plan and get the word out there, to make their argument, to make it solid. And I feel like for us to extend it would just be unfair. We as a PTSA have followed the rules. We have done everything we needed to do. I think it would be unfair to extend. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Next is Ashley Rayback.
Hello, my name is Ashley Rayback, and my children attend the Boundary School of Spring Creek Elementary, but I also have had 2 graduate from Timpview, and I have 3 more coming up through Timpview, so I know Timpview well. My comment today is, first of all, I just want to thank you guys for all your time and effort. I know that sometimes you do things that are not popular, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you fighting the good fight. It's hard. Thank you for laughing, Gina. I know it's been a tough time, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. So I want to encourage you to uphold the policy and to not extend the time. I've been working with the Timpview PTSA presidents. They're good friends of mine. I've been trying to help. I've been helping with Carrie Cardall this year and Olivia Goldman, and for several years I've worked with many of them. And we've been fighting this same fight for a long time. We've tried to follow the rules. We've very carefully looked at the policies. We've made sure that everything we do, every step we do, has been within the policy. We want to make sure that we're doing it fairly. We understand that we want it to be fair for everyone. And so we've worked very hard to do that. And sometimes it's hard because we do fight misinformation. We have people who text us and comment to us that, hey, is this really true? And so we have to do a lot of education as well, which has been difficult, but something that we're glad to do because we want to make sure that everyone is on the same page, that they understand what they're getting. The great thing about keeping the policy right now is that then the parent group can move forward planning for the year. If we do not uphold this policy, we're sort of in a holding pattern. It's become very contentious in some ways and difficult for the parents to know what's going on and what's going to do. We want to just serve the kids of Timpview. We want to make sure that they get the programs. We want to make sure that the parents are part of it. And so I encourage you to uphold the policy. They have been mobilized, the PTO group has been mobilized for a long time now. I would think that if there was the overwhelming support that they had talked about, that they had been telling us and that they have been telling our people, that this would have been something that maybe shouldn't have had to be considered to have an extension. So I feel like they've had more than enough time than you would have given as an extension. So please stick with the policy. And also, I just want to comment that if PTA is the parent group at Timpview High School, we will PTA for all children. All of our programs are for all children and for all parents, whether they are members or not, and no matter what kind of student they are. If they are a student or a person at Timpview, they are welcome to participate in the PTA and in the PTA programs. So thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Next is Jonathan Wood.
Thank you, Jonathan Wood. I'm in the Wasatch Extended Boundary because we do the Chinese program, but that we're in the Timpview and Centennial boundaries. Had 3 kids go through Timpview, 2 there now, 1 up and coming. So I have a vested long-term interest in what's happening. You know, we live in a country where vigorous debate is allowed, encouraged, and awesome. However, as I understand it, tonight's business is not about the debate of what is the right way or the wrong way. Tonight, the question is the rule of order. And rule of order, when it comes to government and pseudo-government entities and districts and school districts like this, rule of order is important. Rule of order is how we keep fairness, equity, and rule of order, frankly. So with that being the case, the policy has been set, the policy has been voted on, the policy has gone through policy committees and read. Could that be changed in the future? Yes. But as of right now, the policy is the policy. The fact that we're seeking an additional request by a PTO organization suggests 2 things: that they don't have the support needed, and an extension would not do much. And also, it's a blatant disregard, in my opinion, for policy. Please uphold the policy. That's what we've elected you to do, and that's your opportunity tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I have 2 more, but before I call them up, I just want to let, for those who came in late, know if you want to give public comment and you have not yet done so, you can fill out one of the forms in the back and come turn it in to Bonnie. Okay, next is Megan Bowen.
Hi, I'm Megan Bowen. I'm a parent at Timpanogos Elementary, former Timpanogos PTA president and a Provo resident in the Provo Peaks boundary, and I care deeply about the future of our neighborhood and our schools. And I have a lot written about this. It doesn't seem to be pertinent as much to today, so I'm going to save a lot of my comments for another meeting. But I just want to thank you for your forethought in the Timpanogos and CTE rebuild, really taking the time to investigate a lot of factors and things and really come to a decision that I think is the best for the future of not only the students at Timpanogos, but the general students overall with the CTE and other expansions there. So thank you for the time it's taken and all of your thoughts on that.
Thank you, Megan. All right, next is Elise Newey.
Hi, I'm Elise Newey. My kids are in the Rock Canyon neighborhood, but we have chosen, Rock Canyon's amazing, but we've chosen to send our kids to Timpanogos because it is such a great community and a community school. And so I just wanted to thank you for considering that and keeping Timpanogos a community school by putting them in the old Dixons. I know that was a hard decision and hard to balance the cost to the taxpayer along with safety for students and enough space to provide all of the services that kids are entitled to. So just wanted to say thank you and thank you for all that you do. So that's it.
Thank you, Elise. And the last one that I have is Ashmay Hoyland.
Hi, you guys. Ashmay Hoyland. My kids, I guess one is just moving to Westridge to the EEE program, is that what it's called? And then one at Centennial and one at Timpview. I've been involved in the PTA, been PTA president, and I just wanted to echo my hope for upholding that policy. And yeah, I think it is really important that we set the precedent, that we set the tone for the year, particularly for parents. I know in our neighborhood, as we've been talking about this, like PTA and PTO, it is confusing, and I think that people are just eager to get going, And so I think it would actually be pretty detrimental in terms of the tone we set for both students and parents and teachers to extend it any further. And as I've seen at all three schools in the PTA, and echoing Ashley Rayback, I do know that we are really, really dedicated to serving every single student and person that enters that school. And I would also say in not extending that, as a PTA, we would definitely invite the voices of the PTO to more quickly come and join and be a part of that community so that we are doing one united thing rather than pursuing and continuing contention and confusion. So thank you.
Thank you, Ashmi. All right. That is all of the forms that I have received, and I just want to thank everyone for taking time out of your busy lives to be here tonight. I know that is a sacrifice, and to make your voices heard, that's important, and I appreciate that, and also the very civil and respectful way in which we dialogue about all of these issues. So thank you for that. You are welcome to stay and watch our meeting. If you need to go, you're free to do that as well. The next item on our agenda are our business items, and we are going to start with item D1 is the request for the Timpview PTO applicant on procedure 7120, the request for the extension of time and the electronic signatures. We talked about this at our study session, and clearly a lot of people knew we were talking about it because they were here commenting tonight. Was there any other background I should give on that?
I just have clarification. So you're voting for both exceptions in one motion. So you're not separating those out.
Unless someone wanted
Well,
to
you
separate
can't
them out.
separate them out because it's listed as one motion. So you would have to vote on it as a single motion. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, with that, do we have a motion regarding this request from our PTO applicant?
I move that we not approve the PTO applicant request regarding 7120 Procedure 1.
Okay. Motion made by Vice President Hales. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. Any discussion to the motion? Go ahead, Gina.
I said what I thought in the other meeting, but I just wanted to reiterate that I believe in a fair process, and I think right now what the fair process is to stick with our policy. But I am okay revising the policy if it needs to be revised, because if we have asked for too many signatures, then let's revise it. But we need to go about the process. We need to go about the process appropriately. And I said my opinion too about the signatures. I prefer physical signatures, but my mind could be changed. I mean, that's what I prefer right now. But if I receive information that helps me to understand better the situation and what, anyway, my mind could be changed on that. But again, I feel like we need to go through the appropriate channels to do that. So I'm not opposed to some of these things, but I do think we need to go through the appropriate process to get that done.
Okay. Other discussion? Go ahead, Meg.
I wish I had shared this in our study session, but I'll share now. First off, I appreciate everyone coming and speaking and sharing their thoughts and engaging in this process. And I know it's been a long process and a lot of back and forth over the last couple years. But I agree that if we can look at the policy and revisit it and follow the process for doing that. I am thinking, I guess I want to just say, if I think about the first step of the policy, the 25 signatures to just get the petition going, I guess I'm just, the 450 signatures, that's like, if those 25 initial signatures, that's 17 additional households that they would need. I guess I'm not also convinced that we're asking too much.
It can't be from the same household.
Right, so that's 17 households.
You're saying each
She's
one of those
saying
25 would go by
contact.
17?
Yeah, it would need 17 households, a signature from 17 households, right?
No. Yes.
One signature from a
17
household.
times 25.
So seven,
Because that would be 425 signatures.
Yes,
So if they had
25
assigned
times 17,
25,
yeah.
those 25 people to contact 17 other.
that's all. I guess I'm trying to kind of navigate in the future if this is something we revisit, like, is it too high of a threshold and an ask? And that just came to my mind, thinking of it in those terms, is helpful to me, so.
Melanie?
I just want to say thank you to the board for allowing us to have this discussion. I think it's important for us for future policy, and understand that when we are voting on these policies, we're doing so for the protection of the district and for others as we go about it. I understand that we want to have voices heard, but while we're in the process, it's difficult to make those changes when they've already been set. So I'm okay if we want to look at this in the future, but for right now, the policy has been set.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'll just
Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, no, I appreciate this whole process. I have spent a lot of years serving schools. I have seen lives changed from the collaborative work of parents and teachers and students and administrators. Any of us who worked through COVID, I'm looking at Marty, like, we were boots on the ground in these schools every single day. And I have full confidence that that will continue to be the case. I know there are times and seasons when it seems like maybe it's harder or easier to get those boots on the ground, but I also have a lot of faith in this community. I've seen the lift done by parents who care about our schools. When we were drafting this procedure, I'm just going to say I didn't think about the lift of gathering those signatures. I don't think all 25 people who signed that initial petition are necessarily saying, I want to be on your team and help gather signatures. They're more just saying, I'm willing to have a vote about this. So I do hope we will revise this. I guess the reason I felt flexible around considering an exemption for the electronic signature is because, number one, we have a precedent of occasionally making exemptions on some of our policies. We've tried really hard, I feel like, especially over the last couple of years, to not do that. But I feel like when I first came on the board, I have seen that happen. And then number two, to me, the fact that there is a 5-year time period before this process can happen again means I want to make sure we actually give fair process. And for me personally, I think allowing an electronic signature, that's felt like an easy yes for me to say, okay, if you can do it that way and show the support we need to see to say it's worth the resources it would require to go to a vote, for me that was an easy yes to be willing to say going through the process of having a board vote is in fact part of the process of taking an exemption to a policy. That's allowed by law. It is rule of law. So I do think, though, that it'll be important to gather feedback from everyone involved so that we can take a look at our policy. Does it serve the purpose that the policy is established to serve or not? And if not, what can we do to make it feel like it is? And if it is, great. But I agree that, to me, extending a deadline is not a reasonable ask. But for me, the signature would have been. But I understand that these are together, so I'll vote accordingly. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? I will just add my thoughts. I thought many of the comments tonight, some very compelling arguments, and they articulate it better than I can right now on the fly. But I agree that it's important to follow a policy. We have it for a reason. We set the rules, and it is not right to change the rules in the middle. Maybe this conversation would have been different if this had been brought up before we started timelines and process, and when people were looking at it a year ago, like that. I'm with Meg. I'm not necessarily convinced that as we move forward that there are changes to be made. I've already seen just in this process, just to get this threshold of signatures, the disruption has been to the community and the stress on the community. And I do think any group who wants to change, whether it's from PTO to PTA or PTA to PTO, to make a change there has to demonstrate that there's enough interest to make that change, to make it worth it, for the feelings it brings up in the community. That can be really hard. And no matter how this goes for this particular organization, this process, I hope that our parent community, and I'm speaking as one also who is a parent in Timpview community, that we can come together and work together and continue to provide amazing things for our teachers and our students on that. But yeah, I agree. We need to stick with the policy as we have it. So, all right. Anyone else? All right. With that, we will take a vote. So, all in favor with the motion of not approving the applicant request, all in favor with that motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed to the motion? Okay, that passes unanimously. Next, we have our student travel request of Timpview High School Dance going to New York City, and I'll let Wendy give a summary of that.
Yeah, so the dance company is going to take their dance team to New York City. I think they've done a good job of trying to address some of the concerns that we had with time out of class and really making it a truly academic experience for the students. So.
All right, do we have a motion?
I don't know what to say because it's not written out for me. I move to approve the Timpview High School travel request to New York City in February of 2027. Is that right?
For Timpview Dance.
For Timpview High School. Is that right? Timpview High School Dance Company.
Yep. Great.
Now what?
Good luck writing that down, Bonnie.
All right. That motion was made by Vice President Hales. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Harrison. Any discussion to the motion? I just want to add, I know I'm often one when they come, I ask a lot of tough questions and can get a little critical of trips far away places that are expensive, but I actually was really excited about this one. I think they were being very thoughtful about the use of time and the opportunity, for me, the opportunity provided to the students makes it worth considering a trip of this nature. And so I was grateful. I feel like we are seeing a shift in the applications we're receiving, that they're making sure to be really thoughtful about that, and I appreciate that, and for the team who's taken some of that message back to our teachers, so thank you. All right, let's go ahead and vote on this. All in favor with the motion to approve the Timpview High School dance travel to New York City, in favor with that, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. And next is the travel request for Timpview High School cheer going to Florida.
I think Coach Zoe tried to I think she did a really good job of explaining why this competition is completely at a different level than what they've experienced in California before, and how she's prepared her team for that, and did a good job of coming in alignment with the requirements of the policy and lining that out. So they would like to go to Florida. So here we go.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the February 2027 Timpview High School cheer trip to Orlando, Florida, as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Boyce. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Hall. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor with aye? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. And next we have a few policies, starting with policy 4335, American Heritage.
So this policy just outlines what is part of what we discuss in U.S. history classes and government classes and different documents, and also talks about the Pledge of Allegiance and respect for the flag. It just has a lot of different things that are a piece of this that are lined out.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve of updated policy 4335 4335, my goodness, American Heritage as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Van Wagenen. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Boyce. Any discussion?
Do we need to say anything about with revisions? Like
The as discussed in
as
open
discussed?
meetings
Okay, just
counts
making
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was mostly just the parent guardian kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Okay. Good question. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor with aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. And next is 4067 CPR training.
This is about CPR training for our high school students and the process by which they will receive that training and how parents can opt out and participate, whatnot.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move that we approve policy 4067, CPR training as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Boyce. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Hales. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Next is policy 4030, animals in schools.
This is really about emotional support animals and service animals and lays out the different requirements that have to be met for that.
All right, do we have a motion?
I move that we approve updated policy 4030, animals in schools, as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, Bonnie?
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do it again. I move that we approve updated policy 4030, animals on school premises, as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, thank you, Board Member Harrison. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Board Member Hall. Any discussion?
I would just like to say that I like the real title better.
Animals in
Hey. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. And next is policy 4023, sex education.
This just establishes the guidelines that we have to follow for the state for any changes that happen with sex education, how parents opt out, how they have access to the curriculum, our committee that's formed, and all of those processes that have to be in place.
Okay, I was about to say that you made a motion. You didn't make a motion. Do we have a motion on policy 4023?
I move that we approve updated policy 4023, sex education, as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, motion made by Vice President Hales. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor with approving this policy, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Our next one is policy 4015, and the title, you'll want to click on the actual policy for the correct title when you read the motion, but it's parent guardian access to district instructional material.
This policy establishes how parents can access our elementary curriculum, that it can be available online, and how they can request and preview those things also for secondary as they go through a learning management system or also work with our teachers.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve policy 4015, parent guardian access to district instructional material, as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Boyce. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor with aye? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. And next we have two large purchase requests. We're going to start with the Clear Touch panels, and Devin will have you explain that.
This is just part of our annual replacement, going school by school for Provo Peaks for the screens that are at the front of the classrooms.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the large purchase request in the amount of $55,211.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong one.
Sorry.
I was D9.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Wow.
The discounted price of.
Yeah.
Okay. I move that we approve the large purchase request in the amount of $101,435 for clear touch panels and installation.
Great. Motion made by Board Member Van Wagenen. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Harrison. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. And next is our large purchase request for HVAC units.
So these HVAC units are for the CTE building at Timpview. While recognizing that the building will be torn down in a couple of years, it's too long to leave kids without some heating and cooling in classrooms, especially in those shop classes. So they can be repurposed as we are preparing to tear the building down. So this is for those replacements.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the large purchase request in the amount of $55,211.72 for HVAC units for CTE Timpview.
All right, motion made by Board Member Hall. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Hales. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Next is our consent calendar. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the consent calendar.
Okay, motion by Board Member Boyce. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. We did have the opportunity for people to ask questions at the study session, but I will open it up if there are any other questions before we vote on it. Okay, all those in favor with approving the consent calendar, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. And we are to our last section of our meeting tonight, which is our reports, and we will start with our.
Can I ask Jennifer
Oh, yes.
before, were we going to go back and do the other first readings, or are we doing those another day?
We can do that. We can postpone those.
Okay. Just making sure.
Melanie loves it so much.
I love policy. It's amazing.
Where's the pom-pom?
They're in my office.
Pom-poms. The policy pom-poms.
Okay. All right, good question. Thank you for asking. Okay, business administrator report. We'll turn it over to Devin.
So I just want to give a shout out to our wellness coordinator, Kat, and Erica, and all of the HR team who's put together a pretty amazing wellness event that went really well today up at the GLC, and it will be next Friday here at the district office as well. So come and see all the work that they've done.
Awesome. Thank you. Melanie, was it you that said you went?
Yeah, I went today. It was amazing. It's
Okay.
really good. Like, it's just so cute how they put you along and you feel like you're on a path, but they're so excited to have you there, and the swag is amazing too. So it
really
was
good
good and
this
lots
year.
of good information. Like, so 2 thumbs up.
Yep.
Okay.
They did a really good job organizing it with all of the people coming to help and just the activities. Kat's awesome at that.
So to our employees who did not make it today, next Friday as well as an opportunity. Fantastic. All right, next is our board member roundtable. It's the opportunity for board members to share anything they've been working on, updates from the committees, keeping in mind that we haven't had any committees meet in July, but does anyone have any updates they would like to share?
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead, Melanie.
Maybe Gina and I are going to say the same thing, probably. But I'm just really grateful for our new student board members. We had our initial opening to meet with them, and we also had Rachel and Bailey come back to help train them. And I'm really excited for this next year, and I'm excited to work with both of you. So.
We need the pom-poms. Welcome. Fantastic. Was that what you were going to say?
Yeah, you can go down the line and then I'll.
Perfect. Okay, Emily.
I was just going to say I had the chance to go to a few Dixon rebuild construction meetings, and I was just amazed at how many people show up and the coordination and the effort of getting the people that actually know about what we're talking about at the table, and I thought it was awesome. So thank you to everyone who makes that happen, especially Devin.
You stole my thunder. That's what I was going to say.
Sorry.
No, it's great. But yeah, I'll just echo that. I've been able to go to many of the construction preliminary meetings and been very impressed with the architecture team and the construction management team and their openness to feedback and not being precious about things and just being very open to what the needs are and balancing needs and wants. And it has really been a great process. I've never been a part of that process before. It's been great to kind of see how that unfolds. So
Can't wait to show some renderings to the community when we can get to that point. 'Cause it's exciting to see it come together. Yeah. Gina.
So just to add to what Melanie said, I'm also very excited. We have two, I think, fantastic student board members from each of the high schools. And I am also, the thing that I would add is we are going to be having them help us with the student advisory committee, which will be a certain number of students from each high school. They're going to help us figure out what do students need? How can we help students want to come to class? How do we improve the engagement in the classes? Which I think will be very helpful to have the student perspective. So I'm excited for that. I also am very grateful that I had July off, kind of, mostly. I don't think Jennifer had any of July off. But I appreciate July off, and I hope that everybody was able to rest a little bit, at least a little bit. Little bit, Jennifer? A little bit? I rested a lot a bit, and I needed it. So I appreciate that as well, and I just appreciate all the work that goes into making us a crew, right? That goes into making us this district that works, and I feel like we work quite well as a district, so I'm appreciative of all the work that goes into it.
Terry, do you have any?
Yeah, reminder Foundation Golf Tournament September 16th. I also got to go to some Dixon construction meetings, which were pretty awesome. I think this is a better process that we went through than previous meetings I've been to. Principal Wolf had to go and like measure things to get back to the architects, so all that hard work that he had to do, thank you. And then seriously, you guys should have seen Jeff Hawkins' face when the architect said, hey, we're going to give you this big, huge room. Let's cut down this, and then you get this. He was so happy, you guys. It was such a happy thing to go see. So, good job, Jeff.
Well, I just wanted to quickly give a shout out to every teacher preparing to return to the classroom. I know, and to all of our administrators, I've loved watching Superintendent Dow's interviews of people who've been working over the summer to put all the scaffolding in place, and then still the amount of work that comes into preparing to create a classroom environment, both physically as well as emotionally and intellectually, that really allows each student to come in that door and feel seen and safe and able to engage and learn. That there is so much invisible work as well as visible work that goes into that. I'm doing a tiny bit of it on my own right now, and just thinking about professional development that I need for myself as well as for other teachers. That I just wanted to give a huge shout out for those who are just, they can't shut their brains off because they know it's almost go time, where the student walks in that door and they want to be present and prepared for that student. There's just a ton of personal and professional work that goes into that, so thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I wanted to share a couple things. First of all, I got to go to the meeting last week, the administrators kickoff meeting for the new year, and I just loved seeing how what they talked about at the end of year meetings, and they had started to plan for this next year and how to best address student needs and supporting teachers. Like, they came back and they reported on things, and it was all tied together very well, and Wendy and her team did a great job of the parts I saw of just continuing to ignite the magic, and like we've seen good things from last year and can already see how we're going to take that to the next level this year, and it's really exciting, and excited tomorrow and next day to meet with all the new teachers, or not the new teachers, but the teachers at their back to school meetings, and welcome them and kind of ignite that magic for them as well. I also wanted to give an update to the board and also the public, and the board, you may not have had time, but I did email you this earlier today, but just some updates on the behind the scenes we've been doing over the summer to prepare for the conversations we want to have about our dual language immersion, or DLI, decisions we want to make, getting more information on that. So we have formed a parent committee. We had 100 applicants. We, with the board's help, narrowed that down. And Gina and I informed them at the beginning of July, those who were accepted and those who are designated alternates. And we are also keeping those who applied but weren't in either of those categories are also given the opportunity to apply for other committees, as well as just be connected to the people that are their designated committee members so that their voices can be heard. The first meeting of this committee is going to be August 20th. We're meeting the third Thursdays at 6 p.m. We do plan to post minutes of the meetings, or at least a summary, I should say, so that the public is aware, and we will bring back to the board as well what we're talking about, because it is supposed to be to inform our board decisions, as well as we do want the community involved. One of the expectations, and these expectations were laid out to the committee members before they officially accepted the opportunity to be that committee member. One of the main expectations is that they will represent more than just their own perspective, and that they will go out to the other families in their area between meetings and get feedback, get input, and represent that at the meetings, so that we can, on such a complex decision, we need as many perspectives as possible to help understand all the nuances. And then also over the summer, so a while back the board kind of gave the direction, we want more information, we want to better understand how our community feels about some of these nuances, and if we were to make a decision a certain way, how would our community respond? We'd hate to make a decision and then everybody is like, why did you do that? And we said, we didn't know you'd feel that way, right? Like, we want to try to understand what's important, what are the priorities. And so as part of that, district leadership, Wendy and Devin, along with board leadership, hired a research firm to help us with that, and they are starting some focus groups and some other kinds of research to help us understand those patterns, and to also help us best craft a survey that we've talked about doing, that we do want to send to the entire community in our district coming up. But these focus groups will help us know how to best write a survey that will give us as accurate of information as possible. And so the first focus group will hopefully happen, the plan is to have it done by the end of August, and then some other focus groups will continue with that. So I am excited to see where this is going to go, because we have no idea where we're going to go with this, but to see us take those steps in that direction. And just want to thank our community for the level of engagement, and so many people have stepped up, not only saying they want to be a part of this conversation, but just overall recognizing the work we're doing as a district, and how can I help in whatever that work is. We've seen other people wanting to help with our foundation or with our literacy efforts. So we just have a wonderful community here in Provo, and I want to thank everybody for all of that. And with that, we're going to turn it over to Superintendent Wendy Dow for her report.
I have really had a good time going around and talking with different departments about all of the good work they've been doing all summer. I think the thing I'm most impressed with is just how much collaboration has taken place. When you think about all of the different groups that have come together, from our communications team, building websites and creating resources for principals, to Michelle's team, going through the bill and providing all of the resources, and Judy's team getting all caught up on all of, there's just so much and so many different pieces, and special education being involved in that process. It's been a really quite fun experience to actually watch this come together, and I'm very excited for our emphasis on literacy. I know it can be a daunting task, but I'm actually the type of person that's like, I don't think 80% of third graders should be on grade level. I think 100% of third graders should be on grade level. And so, and we're already at 76%. So it's like, let's shoot high for this. Like, let's make this happen. And we have the teachers that can make it happen. And we have the parent and the family support for that. I'm also excited. I talked with Caleb and Shauna about, I've done listening tours we've done community meetings, and I do listening tours with faculties. And just kind of reading, there was a whole school administrator magazine about student voice. And one of the things that they talked about was how often are you out in schools and actually intentionally getting the voice of students. So we're trying to put together some things where kids can set reading goals, and then they can come have lunch with the superintendent and talk about how they met those goals and what really helped them. I think it would be good for us to hear from some of our kids in that process. So I'll work with the principals on what that will look like, and we'll do it as the K-12 effort. I realize that to get high school students to come and talk to a superintendent, I'm going to have much better prizes than like just pizza with the superintendent, but I'll figure that out. So I'm excited for that. We're at the next level to start really incorporating that. And then I'm excited because I've signed up to go to kindergarten for Canyon Crest on the first day of kindergarten. So I will be up at Canyon Crest, and I'm just excited for our kids. I'm excited for our teachers to be back, but really excited for our kids to be back. That is where all of the magic happens. So.
Awesome. All right. And with that, we've come to the end of our agenda. Before we adjourn, I just want for the public to know that our students come back on the 19th, Wednesday the 19th, and we're excited to have them back, as Wendy said. And then our next board meeting is Tuesday, August 25th. And with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Motion made by Board Member Hall. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Hales. We are adjourned. Everyone have a great night.
Gina and Melanie.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. They're so pretty.
Okay, good.